If you want to make the most money for your home, have the quickest sale possible, get the most amount of offers, the best time to sell your home, at least in the Seattle area, is between January through May. If you are looking to sell your home this year, we're gonna go over a ton of different tips that you need to think about to maximize the sale of your home. My name's Monica Church. I am a real estate agent in the Seattle Bellevue area. I help both buyers and sellers every year. Now, the first thing you need to consider is if you're gonna use a real estate agent or not. If you put into Google how to sell your home, the first thing that auto-populates is actually without a real estate agent. So I thought that was super interesting. Obviously, if you're hiring a real estate agent, there's fees involved with them. So the first thing you have to decide is, do you think you are capable of doing it yourself and that you will get more money than hiring an experienced professional that does this every day, that knows the market really well? And honestly, in some cases, I've seen people do for sale by owner and do an okay job. Most of the time, people will make more money if they hire a real estate agent. So this video isn't how to sell your home without an agent, but if you're thinking of doing that, you'll maybe pick up some tips from this as well. If you are considering not using a real estate agent, you need to think about how you're gonna prepare your home yourself, how you're gonna market it, what photographers do you know, videographers, how you're gonna get it onto the MLS. Do you know the proper documents that need to go into an offer and that you need to have uploaded to the MLS? Do you have a title and escrow company that's gonna open title for you? Do you know how to fill out a seller disclosure form? What do you do when a buyer's agent submits an offer and then you have this offer and you have to review it all by yourself? Do you know what to do? Maybe you do know these things. I don't know you. I'm just saying, couple things to think about. It's easy in theory to go, maybe I could sell my house, like I'll take photos of it, but there's so much more than that. Number two, if you are deciding to use a real estate agent, you now have a whole obstacle of how do you choose the right agent for you. The real estate agent that you choose to represent your property is truly the most important step in this whole process. It's really gonna dictate how this goes for you. But how do you pick a great agent? Some of the classic ways people find real estate agents are, number one, asking friends and family who they used. Especially if you have a lot of friends and family in your specific neighborhood, that could be good to do because you want someone that is a neighborhood expert. Number two, you could pop into open houses and see who the agents are representing those properties in your neighborhood. Number three, you can pop into Google and look for real estate agents. The problem with Google is a lot of it is agents paying to be advertised on the top. A lot of websites are like this actually, even like Zillow, agents are paying to be there. So it's not that they are the top agent. Some could be good agents, some could be newer agents. It's really a wide array, but just know that they're paying to be there. So it doesn't necessarily mean they're actually the top perfect candidate. They're just paying to be there, that's all. Number four, you could go on YouTube. You know, people find me to work with me all the time on YouTube. If you look at my videos, you watch my videos, you like what I have to say and you feel you would trust me to represent your home, you can go to my website and get in contact with me there. Number five, I actually created a website for people that are not in the Seattle Bellevue area who I can't help because I can't be everywhere at once. It's called HowToHouse.com and it is actually a website with all of my trusted vetted agents that I would recommend. They cannot pay to be on the site, so it's not biased in that way. It's pretty cool. It's just agents I've met along the way that I know have a great track record. They're ones that I've worked with before. I've actually sent referrals. I sent recently a referral to Sacramento for someone that watched my videos. She got her home sold really quickly. You can see this review here. It went really well. As a real estate agent, I know what to look for in fantastic, experienced agents that are going to give you a good experience representing you and keeping the most amount of money in your pocket if you're a buyer, helping you win the home, or maximizing your profit if you're a seller. So if you don't know where to turn, you're going in blind, please check out HowToHouse.com. You can check out my agents, or you can inquire specifically with where you are and what your situation is, and I can recommend someone from there as well. But some of the things you want to look for in an agent is, number one, experience. There's a time and a place for a newbie to be helping you, but when you're selling your home, you don't want someone that's never done this before. Maybe they're experienced and they have another agent on their team that's newer that's helping, and that's an appropriate case to have someone newer helping as well. But if you use someone brand new to the industry, you're gonna leave money on the table, I'm afraid. Not only because they'll know what they're doing in terms of pricing, market knowledge, how to communicate with the other side, how to negotiate. Also, they're gonna have a deeper network of real estate agents they know. This is probably the number one thing people don't realize. Now, you list your property goes on the MLS and it's syndicated online, and so it gets eyeballs online. But then the other way that you bring in buyers is having an agent that has deep connections within the industry that they're in, that's worked with several different agents all over on so many different transactions, that when they have a new property come up, their agent network knows about it. Another thing, social media does help. I have gotten offers on homes because, like this, the buyer ended up seeing my Instagram post or my YouTube video. It does help. It helps move the needle. But more important than that, I would say, is market knowledge, because even if you have someone like me that has 1 million followers, 200,000 followers, whatever it is, if you're not priced properly and if you're not represented properly, marketed properly, that doesn't matter. It's not gonna stick with the people viewing the property. People think with social media too that it's all about buyers seeing it. But again, I've actually helped my sellers bring in more offers from the buyers' agents that follow me on social media that see the properties. I had 2 instances with homes I was representing sellers on where the buyer's agents ended up finding the property through my Instagram post, not through the MLS, because sometimes the MLS does get so flooded with things. They saw that it was me and they know me, and so they made that extra effort to go view the property with their clients. And then in turn, their clients actually loved the properties, and those are the ones that got offers. You want an agent that's well known in the industry, has done several transactions, and has other agents following them too. I hope that makes sense. I don't think it's something people think about, but the agent community is small, the ones that are doing a lot of business. And so they talk to each other and they say, hey, I just had this come out, got any buyers? And it really is just a streamlined, easier way to get the right people in the door to your home. Last thing you should look for in a listing agent, ask them if they have go-to vendors and if they coordinate repairs and aesthetic upgrades for properties. The best real estate agents, they're listing properties all the time. They have contractors that they work with time and time again, and because they give them so much business, those contractors give them the best prices and are the most available for them. If you're listing your home and it needs fresh carpet, or it needs new quartz countertop, it needs new exterior paint, roofing, a new sewer line, your real estate agent that you use should have contacts that they prefer, that they can at least coordinate getting bids and see if those are more competitive than whatever else is out there, and just make your life easier. A couple times I've had sellers literally on the East Coast and I'm on the West Coast, and they mail me a key. I open the door and I deal with what needs to be done for the house. I get the cleaner scheduled, I get the painter scheduled, I get their stuff moved out. Number 3, you picked your agent, you signed your listing agreement with them. Now it's time to prepare your house. First, you want to define a budget of how much you're willing to spend and what needs to be done, and from there you can allocate everything. So the 3 main things that people do that always gets a great return on investment would be paint, carpet, and staging. I feel so strongly about it. I actually pay for the staging for my sellers, and I have staging furniture too. I stage homes myself. If it's condos or townhomes, that's quite easy for me to do. I've done all these projects all myself. Most agents stick the sellers with that fee, but I'm able to save people money, do it myself. A 1-bedroom condo could cost $2,000, $2,500 to stage. A townhouse could cost $3,500 to $4,500 to stage. So these are things I have the inventory to do it, and it won't cost you anything, and we can keep it there as long as we need. Next would be, if you have carpet in the home and it's looking worn, fresh carpet. Doing fresh carpet doesn't actually cost that much money, and it's really easy to get contractors in to haul out the old stuff, put in the new stuff within a day or 2. If it's not that worn, you can get a professional cleaning done for a couple $100s, and that goes a long way as well. And then fresh paint. Fresh paint is so important because smells are very important. Every home has a smell to it, and so it's better to have that fresh paint smell. Whether you like it or not, it's at least a blank canvas for a lot of people to then get to see their lives in the home. Sometimes you don't have to do fresh paint in the whole house. You could do the main level, and then if there's a basement, you can just do touch-ups here and there. Keep in mind, as I said, you don't need to do anything if you don't want to. If you want to sell your property as is, you can do that. But if you do some of these things, you're gonna maximize your price, you're gonna bring in more buyers. So those are the 3 main things, but there's so many different things that you could do. You could add new fronts to cabinets, or simply just do new handles. If it's an older home and it has beautiful hardwood floors, refinishing the hardwood floors, that's a must. You can freshen a bathroom for really cheap. You can have your old vanity hauled out, have a new one put in. You can just Home Depot has decent ones. Refreshing a bathroom, making it feel new and not so old and grungy, that goes such a long long way as well. Landscaping too. I mean, landscaping, the curb appeal, that first impression, that what it does that's so important, it makes people, it gives them the illusion that you take care of your home. Whether you did or didn't, if you make it look good, you make it look pristine, prim and proper, people are gonna think you did take care of your home the whole time you owned it. Which brings me on to number 4, repairs. Again, you don't have to do anything, but if you know what's wrong with your home, you get some repairs done ahead of time, it's gonna make it way more seamless and easier to negotiate in contract. You could either decide to do an inspection before listing your home, and then you could provide that inspection to future buyers that may want to buy the property, or you could not. You could go in blind, not knowing what could be wrong with your home, hope no one else finds what's wrong with your home, have an inspection done, you don't know what they're going to come back with, and have to negotiate in contract. There's pros and cons to both, because once you find out something's wrong with your home, you legally have to disclose it. So if you don't know something's wrong, you don't know the state of your home, and you don't want to be liable, then don't do that inspection. But for most people, having a pre-inspection done and being able to provide that to buyers, it gives buyers peace of mind. And in competitive situations, they may take your inspection and trust it and then waive the inspection completely so that you don't have to have an inspection contingency. I think it's better to know what's happening with your home so you can better negotiate. You can get ahead of those things, get some of them fixed. Some of the ones that you might want to think of today as you're sitting watching this video is, how old is your water heater? Technically, if you're living in a condo, a lot of HOAs require after 8 years you get a new water heater. If it's after 8 years, it's going to be called out. My water heater in my house lasted 20 years before it broke, so you don't have to replace it, but if you know it's going to get called out, maybe it's something that you just do beforehand. Get your water heater serviced. Get your furnace serviced. Are there outlets that aren't working? Get an electrician out maybe and just get those fixed. Those things are going to come up in an inspection. Is there moss on your roof? Moss on your roof is such a common call out. Get the gutters cleaned before getting it inspected too. These are just some of the low hanging fruit. Make sure the gutters and downspouts and everything are actually not broken, and that water isn't, at least in Seattle we get a lot of rain. Make sure the gutters are all connected, nothing's broken, water's not, running towards the house. The sewer, is it an original sewer? Number 5 is paperwork. There's various addendums and things that you need to get signed before you can actually put your property on the market. A couple of those things. Number 1, if you have a condo, you're gonna wanna order your HOA documents. You need to have these available for buyers to see. What you need to do is order a resale certificate from the company that manages your condo building. And if you have that readily available to show buyers so they can know what the HOA looks like before buying, they're less likely to cancel based on that because they know what they're getting into. You have your seller disclosure. This is about 6 pages long. You check mark all these different things, disclosing what you know about the home, if there's been a leak, if the basement's flooded, all sorts of things. You have to legally check mark everything. There's also a utilities addendum, so you have to have that filled out. You have to get title opened, so they pull the legal description of the home. They make sure you have marketable title to even be selling the home. That's something that your agent can do. Okay, number 6, now that we've gotten through all the boring stuff, the repairs, the upgrades, the paperwork, now kind of the fun stuff, marketing. This would be your photography, your videography, your 3D Matterports, your social media plan, your open house plan. You're likely gonna have a big media day, so the house is going to be looking in perfect condition. Hopefully it's a good weather day and you're going to have a photographer come out. This is something you should expect your real estate agent to coordinate and have good photographers to choose from and pay for. They should be paying for photography, videography, the yard sign out front, that costs money. Photography. So with photography, some of the best photography people don't know is actually twilight photography. So this is where they actually take the photos as the sun is setting, and it makes homes look really, really beautiful. Some of the most expensive homes do this, but you can do it with yours. There are some real estate agents that really focus on great photography, and then there's some that are great agents, and it looks like, they've been using the same photographer that they used 20 years ago when they first got started, and I truly think that's such a travesty because photography is so important, so you should be using a fantastic photographer. Here's some of my listings, the photography they've made it look so good. I actually pay extra for the best photographers. Videography, if you're having videography done, it's not the most end-all be-all thing, but it can be helpful. But I would say end-all be-all, you need to ask your agent to do this as well, is a 3D Matterport. The 3D Matterport is that thing where it basically does a 3D walkthrough of the home and it has a floor plan. This is so important. My number one thing when I work with buyers, I work with a lot of buyers relocating from out of state. Sometimes they're buying sight unseen and they are relying on this. Even when they've gone in the house, almost every single buyer asks if there's a floor plan available. If you do the 3D Matterport, they make the floor plan as well. If of the three things you can only pick two, I'd say fantastic photography and the 3D Matterport. And then asking your real estate agent what they're doing to market the property beyond that. Are they sending out mailers? Are they doing open houses? Typically open house traffic is best Saturdays and Sundays from the times of 12 to 3 p.m. But you have to take into account what time of year is it? Is the Super Bowl on? Oh my gosh, as much as football's great, I hate football season for how it ruins Sunday open houses. People do not go to open houses because they're watching football. So you gotta actually think about the different factors and even the timing of when you're listing your home for sale. People don't list their homes for sale typically 4th of July weekend on big holiday weekends because that's when people are traveling. So the best buyer out there could be out there, but they were traveling that weekend because it was a holiday weekend. So you need to time the market right. And the last thing that you're gonna do is talk about pricing and timing the market. So pricing is the last thing that we do because pricing fluctuates. So we could talk about price, we will talk about price early, maybe 2 months on, but as the market is always ever changing, prices change too. Home prices right now in February are gonna be different than home prices in May. Hopefully they've gone up and we're gonna be able to list your property for more. And then timing of the market. Homes usually go for sale here in Washington, in Seattle, in the middle of the week on Wednesdays and Thursdays. People are gonna go view homes on the weekend, but if you actually upload your home on a Saturday, people are already out and about looking. They're not scrolling. They're scrolling in the middle of the week. They're making their plans of what homes they want to go see that weekend. So if you do it on Wednesday and Thursday, they can add it to their list of what they want to see. The first 2 weeks of being on the market are the most important. It's when you're going to get the most amount of traffic. And if you get offers, you're going to get them for the highest price then. How quickly your home is going to sell is dependent on the market, and you have to have those expectations correct. If you have a condo in downtown Seattle, you have to look at the average days on market. Unless you price it extremely low and competitively, it's not going to sell in 5 days. If the average days on market is 30 days, it could sell in 30 days. But if you have it priced accurately, it's probably going to sell in 30 days and get a healthy amount of showings. But it's just an expectation you need to have. You can't compare your downtown condo to a single family home in the Queen Anne neighborhood that's going to fly off the shelf in a week. Every expectation is different. Every home has a different strategy. With single family homes, the strategy tends to be to actually have an offer review date. So that means you put your home up on a Wednesday or a Thursday and you set an offer review date for the following Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. You'd leave your home on the market through the week and the weekend. Buyers could actually submit an offer at any point. They could submit an early offer, but you could deny it. You could say, hey, no, I want any offer to be submitted on this specific day. And the reason that you do it is to get several people to submit offers on the same day, and then you have them bidding against each other, and then you get the highest price. Having this 5 or 6 day period also gives them time to do their due diligence, to do an inspection before offering on the home so that you can waive inspection, different things like that. You don't want to make it too long of a time. I've actually had buyers where an offer review date was like 10 days out and they loved a home, and then in that 10 days they found a different home they liked better. So you don't want to make it too long. You want to make it come out on a Wednesday or Thursday, review the following Monday or Tuesday. You got to keep that synergy going. Now, the other option, if you don't want to do a review date, is you just mark that you are reviewing offers upon receipt. And what that means is if you get an offer submitted, you're reviewing it upon receipt, upon when you get it that same day. So if you get an offer at noon on a Thursday, the buyer is probably expecting to hear back from you, hear a decision by 9 p.m. that day. Doesn't mean you have to accept the offer. You could counter offer. Different situations for everything. But that is a little bit about selling your home. If you need help selling your home, you need help finding a real estate agent, my name again is Monica Church. I help people sell in the Seattle Bellevue area and surrounding areas in the Pacific Northwest. You can contact me below. Or as I mentioned, if you need help finding a real estate agent anywhere in the US, go to HowToHouse.com. From there, you can take the quiz. You'll get matched with great agents that I recommend and have personal relationships with. Or again, rather than taking the quiz, you can submit some info about yourself and I will help custom match you to some great agent recommendations. Real estate should be a good experience, and if it's not, it's because you're not working with the right person. So I just want to help you find that perfect match for you. Thanks again for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, and now you can check out more videos about Seattle here.